morning. Good morning, everyone. I am so thrilled to be here, my fifth year here with you all, and looking forward to our fifth season as a team as we revitalize our program at Vanderbilt. And when we think about Vanderbilt athletics, the landscape is changing for all of us in college athletics, but we want to be the new blueprint for what it looks like to balance championship performance and academic excellence. So one of my goals since I've took this job was to make sure that we could compete for championships while building a championship culture and also be the premier player development program in the country. And as I look at the athletes that I have here today, the things that they said they wanted to do when they came to Vanderbilt, and Michaela Blakes is a perfect example. Last year was one of the best seasons that a freshman at Vanderbilt has had in a very long time, if ever. But I want her to learn how to win with integrity, which she does. I want her to lead with purpose and to make sure that we make community impacts that last for a lifetime. So a lot of the things that we talk about in our program is how do we leave a legacy? How do we win championships and leave it better than we found it? And I think we're well on the way to doing that here at Vanderbilt with our women's basketball program. I look forward to some questions now, if you guys have them.
Thank you, Coach. If you have a question, Avery and Carson will get a microphone to you. We'll start right over here on our right-hand side, Coach, 3 rows back.
Hey, Coach. Ethan Westerman, Whole Hog Sports. It's pretty remarkable looking at y'all's back-to-back years you've had after your first 2 years. What did those first 2 years, teams that maybe didn't have the win-loss that you wanted, do to set up the next 2 years?
It's a great question. We had players on that team, coaches, administrators. I mean, there was people that are here on my staff that have been with me since we got here that were really committed to building something that was bigger than themselves, to being part of something that was bigger than themselves. And they knew it might take a long time, that we might not achieve it right away, but they bought in to the vision and to the standards and values that I wanted the program to be about. And they really did that. They laid the foundation for our program to be able to take the steps that we have taken the last 2 years, and I could never thank them enough. But they are part of this. They will always be part of it. They understood the assignment, as the young kids say now, when they got here, and they did everything they could to make sure that we kept moving in the right direction.
Coach, we'll go over to our left-hand side in the second row.
Alana Morris, Vandy 24/7. Coach, you've talked about Aubrey Galvin a good bit. Even though she's been on campus for just a short amount of time, where have you seen her grow the most?
Aubrey Galvin is one of those players that you love. As a coach, I love her because she's fearless, and she's this undersized point guard from the outskirts of Chicago, maybe a little bit under-recruited. She wasn't on the main circuit, as people call it in AAU. I love coaching her because she's fearless, but it also drives me crazy at times. But I know that players like her don't come around a lot. What I've seen from her since she's been here with us is an ability to step right in and make an immediate impact. And what does that look like? As for a point guard, I need a high IQ point guard. I want a high IQ point guard that understands the game and that understands where the ball needs to go and that can play on both ends of the floor. Aubrey can do all of that. And she has a little bit of a chip on her shoulder, which I appreciate because I've always had that. She also gives us the chance to put Michaela Blakes off the ball a little bit more. And anytime you want to have a championship team, y'all, you got to have playmakers. Aubrey is another playmaker that we'll have on our team. Now with Madison Green being out this year, unfortunately, with another knee injury, she'll be thrust into the spotlight right away. But I find that young players grow the most when they have, the most time to be able to do that on the floor. So we have high expectations for her, but she also has them for herself. It'll be fun. It'll be fun for you guys to watch her. It'll be much more fun for me to coach her this year.
Okay, we have 2 questions right here in the middle of this aisle. Straight ahead.
Hi, I'm Stephanie with the 9 basketball. You mentioned integrity and legacy a lot, and I love that. And I do wonder how your mother, Pat Summitt, or other coaches have influenced how you coach and what that really means to you.
It's a great question. Thank you for the intro, Commissioner Sankey, because my mom was really good friends with Pat Summitt, and that's not something that a lot of people know. She also had the chance to be part of the first team that played on international soil for women's basketball to represent the United States. And it was a friendship that really gave me the opportunity to understand what was possible if you played women's college basketball or basketball at all, or that I could be an athlete as a young person. So understanding, what my mom had to do to get to that point, and she will tell stories like we all tell them, right? Like I had to walk through 4 feet of snow, and I had to drive the buses to every game. But I get to be part of something in college basketball now for women that we don't have to do that. And that is a direct reflection of the sacrifices that other women made for us. My mom being one of them, Pat Summitt being one of them, the investment that they made and the belief that they had that this could be something really special. And she did all of that without a tenth of what we get now. And so it's an honor for me to have her still. She moved to Nashville. It's an honor for me to bring her on every trip, for her to travel the way that we travel, for her to experience what it looks like now in college women's basketball, because she is part of what laid the foundation for us to be here. It's meaningful for me. So it's our job is to win, right? We're college coaches, and you see that every single day. Our job is to win. But the purpose that I have behind that is much bigger than that for me, because of my mom and the other women that laid the foundation for me to even be standing here in front of you guys today talking about this.
Okay, we'll stay right there.
Coach Wilton Jackson, the non-basketball. I want to ask you about Jacqueline Winnentanda. Obviously came from Texas, had some really critical moments for that Texas team last year. What are you expecting from her in your program?
Great job with the pronunciation. Good job. It took us a while. I have such high expectations for her, but not higher than she has for herself. And so when we thought about continuing to build a championship roster, Jacqueline was a critical piece for us because she has been where we want to go. She has that experience, and like you said, has had critical moments, right? Critical moments as a player, and making sure that Texas went to and had success in the NCAA tournament and the Final Four. So when we brought her to our team, I know she has wanting to have a bigger impact for her, but also having an impact of leadership on our team in the way that we haven't had before, because she's been there. Right? So she's a player on our team that has been where we want to go and has been able to make an immediate impact just in that way, besides the fact that she's a really good basketball player. In the locker room, on the court, communication, trust, accountability. She brings all those things with the experience.
We'll go back over to our left-hand side on the aisle.
Coach, just with the landscape changing so much in college basketball, I'm curious, how you feel like NIL fits in with the new rev share structure.
So I'm a very, very lucky head coach. I have amazing leadership. I have Dr. Candace Story-Lee, our athletic director, who is arguably, but not to me, the best athletic director in the country, and the partnership that we have with Chancellor Daniel Diermeyer in making sure that our athletic department is infused with the resources we need to compete at the highest level. So, of course, now that includes rev share and NIL, but it also includes having brand new facilities. Being able to play the schedule that we play this year. We're going to Paris to kick off the season. We're going to the Virgin Islands. We're playing in New York in January against Michigan. They understand what it looks like, and they want to invest in a championship team that also operates with academic excellence, right? So they've given me the opportunity to go out and recruit the best student athletes in the country. So what it looks like at our university is, we operate in that we're going to bring the best student athletes here. We're going to give them the best student athlete college experience that we can. We're going to win. And then Candace and Chancellor Diermeyer are going to give us the resources to be able to do that. And the partnership has paid off in dividends for us, but I'm also excited to show people at Vanderbilt what it looks like to invest in women.
Got time for a couple more. We'll start in the second row in front of us, Coach.
Neil Blackman, Saturday Down South. You've talked a lot about foundation building this morning, and just maybe speak to Sasha Washington, somebody that starts like 70 games in a row, is obviously pretty vital to foundation building. Just what makes her special and sort of one of the better glue players in the SEC.
Well, the first thing that comes to mind in terms of Sasha Washington and what makes her really special is that she's been here with me the entire time that we've been here, and that does not happen a lot anymore, and it has not been easy. So our first 2 years, weren't great. And they were in that we were going in the right direction, but we weren't getting to the NCAA tournament yet. We weren't winning a lot of games. And she has always been a believer in the process and the vision. And she's also put everything that she has out on the line for us. So through thick and thin, through successes and losses, and it's almost like a marriage, right? Like now she's not healthy last year, but I'm going to stay committed to you too, because that's what integrity is. But it also shows her what it looks like to be bigger than something, what it looks like for someone to be part of something that's bigger than themselves. And I think that really is important, and that level of commitment from her to us and from us to her is what makes her special. It also is what makes her show up with joy. And she's had a lot of adversity, We've had a lot of adversity together. But one thing that we have done is enjoyed the process. And she puts a smile on everyone's face. She lights up the room when she walks into it. And she's one of the hardest workers on the floor. I cannot wait to have her back this year. It's no secret. We need size. She's going to have a force in the paint that we haven't had, in the last year. She'll be able to give us that back this year.
Okay, we'll take one final question here in the front. AP.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
AP Stedham, AP as we see it. Coach, what's the best advice your mother gave you about athletics? And then what caught your attention about Michaela Blakes when you were recruiting her?
Wow. Okay, the best advice. I know my mom's watching this too. I don't know if it was like she said it to me. It was more she gave me the opportunity to be myself. And I think as a young person, when you look at the way that college athletics and women's basketball, it was dominated by Tennessee at that time. And I think everyone in the state of North Carolina thought I was going to go to Tennessee because my mom was friends with Pat Summitt, or go to North Carolina because I grew up in North Carolina and my mom was an All-American there, the first one ever. And she would tell me every day, you have to make the choice for you. It can't be about me, about the state, about the people that are around us that want you to do certain. You have to do the right thing for you because you're going to be the one that has to be there every single day. This is your life. I think that's hard. I'm a parent myself now, and I don't know that I realized how hard that might have been for her, because I think a couple of those things were sure things in her eyes. But she gave me the opportunity to be myself, to make my own choices, and it laid the groundwork for me to grow up and learn what it looks like to maximize my truthful potential and create my own path. So that's number one. She gave me that. Michaela Blakes. When we started recruiting Michaela Blake, she wasn't one of the top 10 players in the country. When I went to watch her, she is, when you talk to her on the phone and you guys get a chance, you had plenty of opportunities to interview, so well-spoken, like a force, just very present. She has a way about her that makes you understand what a special human being she is. You do not look at her when you're interviewing her as the monster that she presents on the basketball court. When I first went to watch her play, after having several conversations with her on the phone, I was blown away by her motor. Her competitive fire, the way that she allowed herself to be coached, the way that she spoke to her teammates, the eye contact, and then the way she went off the floor and hugged her parents and hung out with the people on the sideline. She just represented something to me that you don't see a lot in great players. There's lots of talent in the country. There's lots of players with skill. Michaela has the intangible qualities that I've been fortunate enough to witness as a basketball coach and a player, and some of the best players that I've ever seen play the game. And now I get the honor and opportunity to help her develop those so that she can maximize her truthful potential. But that was what I saw right away. It was her motor, it was her intangible qualities that I knew would separate her, not just from being a good player to a great player, but to being one of the best players maybe to ever play the game.
Coach Ralph, thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you guys so much.
We have the Vanderbilt women's student athletes in the room. They'll be here for 15 minutes, and then a reminder